Aloha, it's Paul here at warhq.co.uk, and we are looking at the orders on Gates of Antares at the moment. We'll move in a bit closer, there we go. And we've got 6 basic orders that we can give our units, as we can see here. And the first order we can give them would be the fire order, which allows a unit to shoot without moving, and generally speaking that will mean that you are more accurate, meaning that you will hit your enemy slightly easier than if you moved and shot, which indeed would be the next order we could give, would be the advance order, which allows us to make a basic movement, usually 5 inches in Gates of Antares, but sometimes different, and we can move that basic movement and we can shoot, although we will shoot slightly less accurately than if we had stood and done a fire order. So moving on from the advance order, which allows us to move, the run order also allows us to move, but we move more quickly and without shooting. Usually twice the basic move, so usually 10 inches instead of the 5, but we can't obviously shoot at all. We're doing too much movement to allow us to take our weapons off and line up a target. The fourth order we might choose would be the ambush order. We don't move, and for the time being we also don't shoot, but we get ourselves in readiness to shoot, and any enemy unit that then subsequently moves into our range and line of sight, we can spring our ambush, which turns our ambush into a fire order, so a fire order out of turn sequence if you like, and we can shoot at that enemy unit that's moving anywhere in its movement, as long as it's within range and line of sight. And indeed the ambush order, if I can find it back again, at the end of the turn, instead of putting our dice back in the bag, we can choose to leave ambush on. The dice doesn't go back in the bag, but again, any enemy unit that moves into line of sight and range is a target we can shoot at out of turn order. Then we have the rally order, which we can use if our unit has picked up a number of pins and is unlikely to be able to carry out a different order. We can choose to do a rally. So for example, if unit of Gar in at the bottom corner here had say 6 pins on them, if they have a morale of 6 and they had 3 pins on them, they would normally be passing orders on 3 or less, which makes it reasonably unlikely, but we can choose to do a rally order. If we do a rally order, we do it on full morale, so even with the 3 pins we would be passing that order on 6 or less, and if we pass that order we then lose d6 pin markers, allowing us to shed pins and become more able to carry out an order should we need to do so. And of course, if you have no pins on you, you automatically carry out any orders given at that time. And then the last one we can do is a down order. A down order, we don't move, nor do we shoot, but we take cover effectively, getting out of the road of incoming fire, and it generally will make it more difficult to be hit. Not all units can go down in that way, although it's sometimes used to indicate that a unit has been taken out of useful action and may have some other consequences for the unit. But generally speaking, to go down makes it more difficult for your units to be targeted by enemy units. And that's the basic moves, orders in Gates of Antares. Hopefully that makes things a bit clearer for new players, and in the next video we will move on to basic effects of pinning units and how that works in the game. If you've got comments or would like to ask questions, please add them at the bottom of the video, or find us on Facebook at warhq. And for now, thank you and mahalo.